guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another video. Obviously that is why there is a video right here. I'm actually recording two videos today for this week and next week, as I am going to be busy for the next few weeks. If you watched my last video, I have two conventions coming up, which means all my attention has been put to that, and also it is the end of the semester. It's like the last 2 weeks of classes before I stop doing classes and have study break, which means I'm going to study for one exam that I have, and it's just busy times. I'm busy in general, so I thought today I would do the rapid fire book tag, and then I'll do another book tag thing next week, and then the week after, I know it'll be a little bit into June, but I will do a that thing, the book wrap up and everything that I normally do at the end of every month, because why not? Anyway, before I get too talkative and stuff, I'll just get right into the video so you don't like wait around for me for too long. Let's get into it. Alright, first question on the rapid fire book tag I could not find who made it, but I will link it down below if I can find it. And the first question is, ebook or physical book? I think it's a bit obvious that it's physical book. I'm not the biggest fan of ebooks. I really struggle reading on the screen. Even with Kindles I struggle with it. I don't know what it is. I really like having physical books in my hand, and therefore I'll go physical book no matter the cost. Paperback or hardback? Unpopular opinion, I hate hardbacks, even though I own quite a few hardbacks. Some of my signed copies are hardbacks, but I prefer paperbacks. Online or in-store book shopping? I'm kind of like not too fussed about this, but I probably would pick in-store because nothing beats a bookstore, the smell of them, the look of them. But in saying that, I do quite like online shopping because it tends to be a little bit cheaper, especially if you're buying from things like Trade Me or eBay. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. Trilogies or series? It depends on how long the series is, but I do tend to like trilogies a lot more. Most of my series that I have read are trilogies, except for obviously the Mortal Instruments, Vampire Academy, but I find it a lot easier to read a trilogy, especially there's some series such as like the Sookie Stackhouse series, which I have not finished. They just carry on for too many books and it gets really annoying. Heroes or villains? It kind of depends on the story, but in most cases it tends to be heroes unless it's Sebastian, and then I'll go with villains. A book you want everyone to read. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Recommend an underrated book. I don't really know many underrated books because I'm not too big into the community. I don't really know too many underrated books because I'm not too big in like knowing what's underrated, but I have not seen this one around, maybe because it's an adult book and I tend to read mostly YA and I follow YA people, but it's After the Crash by Michelle Bussey, sorry. It is a psychological thriller about two girls, well, one girl who is the sole survivor of a plane crash, and it is basically them trying to find out what young infant girl it was, because there are two infants on the plane and there was no identification on what girl it could have been. The last book you finished. Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. In fact, I got this one signed. There's a signature in here somewhere. I think it's like this page. Nope, not that one. The next page. I can't be bothered putting it down. My phone is in my other hand. I went to a book talk the other day by Amy Kaufman, and I got both this and Gemini signed. I have not read Gemini yet. I'm kind of a bad person for getting it signed, but I am about to start reading it like this week. The last book you bought? Well, one of them was The Night Circus, and at the exact same time I bought Caraval and Gemini. That's why I got Gemini signed. I bought the book so I could get it signed, and this is the one out of the three that I would like to read the most because I have heard really good things about it. I have actually read Caraval before via audiobook, but I'd like to read the physical book too because it is my top rated book of the year so far. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark. The weirdest thing I've probably used as a bookmark is like a piece of plastic from packaging of something. I don't really remember what I use as bookmarks, so I don't really keep track of them. Used books. Yes please, I love used books. In fact, most of my books are used books. I tend to not buy too many new books. I constantly go to used bookstores. In fact, I have a blog post on my favourite used bookstores, or just bookstores in general in New Zealand. You can go check it out down below. I will link it for you in case you're a Kiwi and you don't know where to shop for books. Those are my favourite places. Top 3 favourites genres. My top 3 favourite genres are probably fantasy, as seen by most of the books I read are fantasy, science fiction, and I guess I would say YA contemporary. They're kind of like the three main coverage of genres, not fantasy, but it's kind of hard. I'm not really into adult or high fantasy. I'm more into YA fantasy as well. I'm kind of just all over the place. I like reading anything. Borrow or buy? I'd like to buy. I love buying books. hence the amount of books I own, goodbye money. Characters or plot? I definitely think that characters are a big part of a plot, because if I don't like the characters in a series, I won't enjoy the plot. But it's also the same if I'm not enjoying the plot, I probably won't enjoy the characters. But if the characters are terrible, I don't give a shit what's happening in the plot, because I just hate the characters and I want the book over and done with. Long or short book? I definitely like in-between books, if you can call them that. Something that's between 200 and 350 pages long. 250, not 200. I really like books that you can finish in a few days or even a day, but also I do like ones that can be long if the story is good. Example, A Court of Mist and Fury. Short or long chapters? I like short chapters because it feels like you're getting somewhere in the book, plus you can easily stop and start reading, or you can just not stop reading and keep reading and then you're suddenly done with the book. But it's a lot easier with short chapters, so you can like put bookmarks and you know that your goal toward reading and that reading session won't be that long, you know what I mean? And the first three books you can think of, well, A Court of Mist and Fury, Replica, and City of Bones. Oh my god, that was really hard, but even though I saw two of them in my viewfinder, right there. Books that make you laugh or cry. I prefer books that make me laugh because I cry enough as it is because I cosplay, so less crying is the better thing. Our world or fictional world? I think that's a very hard question because I'm not the happiest person in our world, but at the same time I think a lot of fictional worlds I also wouldn't be happy, so it depends on the fictional world. There are some pretty shit fictional worlds out there just as bad as our own. Audiobooks, yes or no? I would say yes. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the year I would have said no because I actually hated them so much, but then I started listening to The Martian by Andy Weir and I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if it's because I like science fiction or because I really enjoyed the movie or just the whole premise of it was pretty cool, but I really liked the reading of it, and since then I've listened to a few audiobooks including Caraval or Light We Cannot See, Stranger Dreamer, and I'm currently listening to Beauty Queens by Libba Bray and it is really funny and I didn't expect that. I did like a search on YouTube for audiobooks that were recommended and this one came up in a few videos, so I thought I'd check it out because I like the idea of it and I'm really happy I listened to it. I do struggle a bit trying to find audiobooks to listen to, but most of them are pretty good. I've only had maybe one or two that I didn't enjoy. Do you ever judge a book by cover? Yes, I do. In fact, recently I judged a book by its cover and I absolutely hated the book. I did a review of the book on my blog and that's Ink by Alice Broadway. I didn't dislike it because of its idea, I just really disliked the writing. Its idea was really cool, but I didn't like the writing of it and therefore I maybe shouldn't have picked up the book. I don't know, maybe I should do what people do and read like a few chapters of a book, but I don't. I just read the back and then I'm like, yep, sold, buying that book. And sometimes it backfires, and in this case it did, but the cover is beautiful and I tend to buy a lot of books based on the cover. For example, Faceless that I bought the other month in my book haul, and a few other books you might notice I tend to talk a lot about how cool the cover is. Book to movie or book to TV show? I'm kind of iffy about both of them. I always get really super disappointed in things such as Vampire Academy was like the biggest disappointment of my life, and same with City of Bones, but in saying that I do prefer book to TV show in most cases because you can put a lot of things into it, but at the same time they do change a lot of things for the sake of plot because they have to make things interesting, which is why you see a lot of TV shows changing a lot and why you see a lot of movies not as good because they have to take out a lot of things for the fact that it needs to be crammed into like a few hours. So I tend to enjoy a lot of, I guess, standalone books as movies and a lot of series as TV shows, if that makes sense. A movie or TV show that you prefer more than a book? Don't hate me for this, but I prefer the first season of Shadowhunters over City of Bones, and it is because of one reason, and that is the fact that City of Bones is not a good book. The idea of it is okay, just everything about it is alright. And the reason why that is because it is Cassandra Clare's first book from the series, and she has like improved a lot over the years, but City of Bones is not my favourite book. Actually, City of Ashes is my least favourite, but City of Bones is just really bad in my opinion, especially if you're comparing it to Lady Midnight or just any of her stuff later in her series and trilogies and stuff. She's just gotten a lot better, and that is why I prefer the TV show over the book, because the TV show, even though things have changed, I really enjoy watching it, but the book I don't enjoy reading it, if that makes sense. And final question is series or standalone? I definitely prefer series, but as I said before, I don't like long series that go on for like 10 books, and therefore I prefer standalones over those sort of series. But as you can tell, I read a lot of series. Most of the books I read are series because I love learning about the characters. I love getting more and more of the characters' worlds, and I love characters, and if I love the characters, I want to know everything about them. I want to follow them till death, but I don't want them to die even if they're like 200 years old. So I prefer series over standalones. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was like kind of different. I don't really do a lot of tags. I just mostly talk about books and just buy books I buy, but because I'm going away and I'm busy in the next few weeks, I thought tags were easier than doing any reviews or anything. So if you do want to see any reviews, I post review blog things on my blog every week of books I read since last month. I read a lot of books, but I haven't read that many recently because I've been a bit slack. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys all next week. Don't forget to subscribe and like and do anything you want to do. I hope to see you stick around. Bye.